Known to many as CliffyB, Cliff Bleszinski is one of the most recognizable faces in the video game industry. He first found fame as a game developer with the likes of Jazz Jackrabbit, Unreal, and Gears of War, and championed a more consumer-friendly pricing model. But we haven't heard much from the outgoing developer lately, which makes us wonder, what's CliffyB been up to? Epic quit. In October 2012, Bleszinski left Epic Games, the studio that helped make him famous. In a note to his colleagues, Bleszinski wrote, "I've been doing this since I was a teenager, and outside of my sabbatical last year, I've been going non-stop. I literally grew up in this business, and now that I'm grown up, it's time for a much-needed break." Unhappy with his situation at Epic and unable to come to agreeable terms in regards to his contract, Bleszinski just stopped showing up at work. Retirement blues. After Bleszinski quit Epic Games, he took some time off from the industry. He told Destructoid, "I honestly thought I was done. It was a combination of gamers feeling jaded, as well as working with some very talented people who were also very jaded. I don't mean to slag anyone, but people get jaded in this business." But Bleszinski's early retirement didn't last long. In an interview with Eurogamer, he explained how he started to get bored with not being involved with the industry. Less than 2 years after calling game development quits, Bleszinski officially announced his comeback on Twitter. New studio. Bleszinski decided to start his own video game development studio, Boss Key Productions, with Guerrilla Games co-founder Arjen Brussy. It didn't take long for him to think of his new studio like his family. Bleszinski told Push Square, "Some say it's a weakness, some say it's a strength. Depends on who you talk to, but I know everybody's name at the company. We are first and foremost a business, but we also function as and feel like a family." Bleszinski is proud of what his studio has accomplished in a short period of time, telling VentureBeat at E3, "To know that with my scrappy team of 65 folks, I can compete with the heavyweights, it's a pretty amazing feeling." Unfortunately, Boss Key Productions' first game got knocked out by the heavyweights pretty quickly. Lawbreakers bust. Boss Key Productions' first major release, Lawbreakers, failed almost as soon as it launched in summer of 2017. The first-person arena shooter only managed 3,000 concurrent players the night it launched on Steam, and has since dropped steadily, despite receiving generally positive reviews from both critics and fans alike. In a market saturated by competitive shooters, Lawbreakers has struggled to gain a foothold. Bleszinski has been humbled by Lawbreakers' lack of success and realizes it might be his own fault. He told GameSpot, "I have to keep this game alive first and foremost. I can be very cocky and very brash on social media, and realizing that, we have a fledgling player base, it's been very humbling for me." Bad press. Cliff Bleszinski has always had an outgoing and brash personality, and he's admitted he can rub people the wrong way. Throughout the years, however, he's done this to some people in the games media, particularly in response to stories comparing Lawbreakers to Overwatch. Bleszinski said, "They're just looking for clicks, man. They're just looking for ad revenue. We're going to keep doing what we're doing, and they're welcome to print whatever they want. But as far as I'm concerned, they can f*** off. We're going to keep making our game for our fans." Kojima refusal. Hideo Kojima is a bona fide rock star in the video game world, known as the mastermind behind Konami's famous Metal Gear series. If Kojima wants to work with you, you should probably take him up on his offer. Cliff Bleszinski, however, turned him down. When Kojima approached the former Gears of War guy to work on the then-in-production Silent Hills, Bleszinski said no, explaining to Rolling Stone, "I only want to work on new IP. I wanted to go my own way in terms of being CEO and seeing if I had it in me to make another world." Virtual therapy. Even though he's not giving up on Lawbreakers, Cliff Bleszinski would really like to make a VR game. There's only one problem: they're too expensive. Bleszinski told Rolling Stone, "I'm frustrated. Funding for a VR game right now, you can raise $1 million to $2 million maybe. And most of the VR games out there look like what a $2 million game looks like. I wanted to do something, I don't know, maybe in the $3 million to $5 million range? Who knows?" Nevertheless, Bleszinski is determined not to let funding get in the way, and he has a lot of ideas about where to take VR.
And just for the possibilities beyond video gaming, of virtual tourism, of communication of people who are far apart feeling like they're in the same space.
In particular, Bleszinski envisions the future of VR as a form of therapy. He explained to Rolling Stone that he'd create a real game, a social experience that helps with seasonal affective disorder, but it hides itself as a really fun game and experience. It's clear that Bleszinski probably isn't going anywhere. From his ongoing support for Lawbreakers to finding a way to create the VR therapy game of his dreams, Bleszinski's still only getting started. Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.